You don't have a motivation problem. You have a comfort addiction. Yeah, I said it. Not lack of time, not lack of knowledge, not bad luck. Comfort. You keep telling yourself you're trying, but if we're being honest, you're avoiding hard things, and you know it. Let's be real for a second. Your life isn't that hard. You're not waking up at 4 a.m. to survive. You're not fighting for food. You're not struggling to stay alive. But somehow, you still can't do the one thing you said you would do. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Because it requires effort. Because it forces you to face yourself. So instead, you scroll. You delay. You distract. You escape. And then at night, when everything goes quiet, that voice shows up. That honest voice. The one you keep trying to ignore. What are you doing with your life? Yeah, that one. You don't say it out loud, but you feel it. That small disappointment sitting in your chest every single night. And tomorrow, you tell yourself the same lie again. I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week. Next week turns into next month. And suddenly, a year is gone. Let me ask you something. How many tomorrows have you already wasted? Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You don't lack time. You lack priority. You say you want success. You say you want discipline. You say you want to change your life. But your actions, they're telling a completely different story. Your actions say, I'd rather stay comfortable. I'd rather avoid effort. I'd rather feel good now than be proud later. That's the truth. And it stings. Because it's real. Look at your day. Not what you plan. Not what you intend. What you actually do. You wake up. Check your phone. Scroll a little. Just 5 minutes. Turns into 30. You rush your morning. Tell yourself you'll focus later. Then later comes. And suddenly you're tired. So you delay. Again. You open YouTube. Watch a motivational video. Feel inspired for 10 minutes. Then do absolutely nothing about it. Does that sound familiar? You're not alone. But that doesn't make it okay. Because here's what's really happening. And you need to understand this. You're not stuck. You're repeating a pattern. A pattern of avoid, delay, regret, repeat. Every single day. And the worst part? It feels normal now. You've gotten used to wasting your own potential. Let that sink in. You've gotten comfortable with not becoming who you could be. That's dangerous. Because once mediocrity feels normal, growth feels painful. Discipline feels extreme. Effort feels too much. So you stay where you are. Not because you have to, but because it's easier. And that's exactly why your life isn't changing. You keep waiting to feel ready. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for the right time. But that moment, it doesn't exist. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. And if you depend on it, you'll always be inconsistent. You don't need motivation. You need standards. Right now, your standards are low. That's the truth. You tolerate distraction. You tolerate excuses. You tolerate delay. So your life reflects that. If you're being honest, you already know what you should be doing. You just don't do it. And that gap between what you know and what you do, that gap is your problem. Not lack of information. Not lack of ability. Execution. You avoid the very things that would change your life. Because they're uncomfortable. Because they require discipline. Because they force you to grow. So instead, you stay busy. Not productive. Busy. There's a difference. A big difference. Being busy feels like progress. But it's just another form of hiding. Hiding from the real work. The hard work. The work that actually matters. And deep down, you know exactly what that work is. The thing you keep avoiding. That's the thing you need to do. But you won't. At least, not yet. Because comfort still has control over you. And until you break that, nothing changes. Let me tell you something. Most people won't say this directly. Your excuses sound logical, but they're still lies. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I'll do it later. I need the right mindset first. Lies. All of them. Because when something really matters to you, you don't wait. You act. No hesitation. No excuses. So the real question is, does your future actually matter to you? Or do you just like the idea of it? Because there's a difference. A painful one. Liking the idea feels good. But building the reality, that's hard. That requires sacrifice, consistency, discipline. And right now, you're choosing comfort over all of it. Not once, not occasionally, daily. That's why you feel stuck. Not because you are, but because you're choosing not to move. And if nothing changes, if you keep repeating this cycle, you already know where this leads. Same habits, same mindset, same results. 1 year from now, you'll be in the exact same place, still thinking about starting, still waiting, still stuck. And that thought, that possibility, that should scare you, because time, it's moving, whether you act or not. And every day you delay, your future shrinks. Not dramatically, not instantly, but slowly, quietly, until one day, you wake up and realize you wasted years, and you can't get them back. That's the cost of comfort, and it's expensive. More expensive than discipline will ever be, because discipline hurts now. But regret lasts a lifetime. So the real question is, how much longer are you going to keep choosing this? How much longer are you going to lie to yourself? How much longer are you going to wait before you finally decide enough is enough? Because sooner or later, you're going to have to face this. The only question is, will it be now, or when it's already too late? At some point, you have to stop blaming everything around you and start looking at the one person responsible. You, not your schedule, not your environment, not your past, not your mood. You. And I know, that's uncomfortable to hear, but that's exactly why it matters. Because the moment you take full ownership, everything changes. No more excuses to hide behind. No more stories to protect your ego. No more waiting for something external to fix your life. Just you and your decisions. Right now, your life is a reflection of what you tolerate. You tolerate distraction, so you stay distracted. You tolerate inconsistency, so you stay inconsistent. You tolerate excuses, so you stay stuck. It's not complicated. It's just uncomfortable. And that's what you keep avoiding. Discomfort. But here's the truth you need to understand. The life you want, it's on the other side of the things you avoid. That task you keep postponing. That habit you keep skipping. That discipline you keep resisting. That's the path. Not the easy one. The real one. You don't become better by doing what feels good. You become better by doing what feels hard. Even when you don't feel ready. Even when you don't feel motivated. Even when you don't feel like it at all. That's the difference. Because right now, you're waiting for a feeling. You're waiting to feel motivated, to feel focused, to feel ready. But feelings are unstable. They change every day, sometimes every hour. If your actions depend on your feelings, your life will always be inconsistent. So instead of asking, do I feel like doing this? You need to start asking, is this what I said I would do? That's discipline. Simple. Not easy, but simple. And you've been avoiding it. Let's break another illusion. The idea that you need the perfect plan. You don't. You don't need a new system. You don't need another video. You don't need more research. You need to execute. Right now, you're overthinking, planning, consuming, but not doing. And overthinking feels productive, but it's just another form of delay. It gives you the illusion of progress without the discomfort of action. So you stay stuck, thinking you're working on it. But nothing changes, because thinking doesn't change your life. Doing does. And doing is exactly what you keep avoiding. Let me ask you something again. Be honest this time. How many times have you told yourself, this is the day I change, and then didn't? How many times have you felt that spark, that motivation, that clarity, and still went back to the same habits? That's not a lack of potential. That's a lack of discipline. Because potential means nothing if it's not used. You don't get results for what you could do. You get results for what you actually do. And right now, there's a gap, a big one, between who you could be and who you are being. And that gap, it's created by your daily choices, not big decisions, not life-changing moments. Small, repeated, consistent choices. Choosing your phone instead of your work. Choosing comfort instead of growth. Choosing delay instead of action. Again, and again, and again. That's how you build a stuck life. Not in one big mistake, but in thousands of small ones. And here's the scary part. You don't even notice it happening, because it feels normal. Everyone around you is doing the same thing. Scrolling, procrastinating, delaying. So it feels okay. But normal doesn't mean good. Normal can keep you average. Normal can keep you stuck. Normal can quietly destroy your potential. If you keep doing what's normal, you'll keep getting normal results. And deep down, you don't want that. You don't want average. You don't want just okay. You don't want to look back one day and realize you could have done more. But wanting more isn't enough. You have to act differently. And that starts with one decision. Not a perfect plan. Not a huge transformation. Just one decision. I don't run from discomfort anymore. That's it. Because everything you want requires that. Discipline requires discomfort. Growth requires discomfort. Confidence built through discomfort. There's no version of success that doesn't include it. So if you keep avoiding it, you're also avoiding your future. And that's the truth most people never accept. They want results. Without the process, they want success. Without the struggle, they want confidence. Without doing hard things, it doesn't work like that. You earn it every single day. Through actions that don't feel good. Through effort that feels heavy. Through moments where you don't want to continue, but you do it anyway. That's where change happens. Not in motivation, not in thinking, not in planning. In action. Even small action. Especially small action. Because small actions, repeated consistently, create massive change. But only if you actually do them. And that's where most people fail. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they don't do it. So let's make this simple. Really simple. What is the one thing you've been avoiding? Not 10 things. Not a long list. One thing. The thing you keep pushing away. The thing you know matters. The thing that would actually move your life forward. You know what it is? Now here's the real question. Why haven't you done it yet? Think about that. Really think. Because whatever answer you give, it's probably an excuse. A logical one. A comfortable one. But still an excuse. And as long as you keep accepting those excuses, nothing changes. So you have two choices. Right now, keep doing what's easy. Stay where you are. Feel this same frustration again tomorrow. Or do what's hard. Take action. Break the pattern. And finally start becoming the person you keep thinking about. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix this for you. This is on you. And that might feel heavy. But it's also powerful. Because if it's your responsibility, it's also your control. Which means you can change it. Not someday. Not next week. Now. Not perfectly. But intentionally. One action. One decision. One step. That's how it starts. And that's where everything begins to shift. So here's where everything changes. Not when you feel motivated. Not when life gets easier. But the moment you decide, I don't wait anymore. Because waiting has been your biggest trap. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the perfect plan. And while you wait, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass. Time slips. Energy fades. And you stay in the same place. Not because you can't move, but because you won't. That's the hard truth. But here's the shift. The real shift. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You don't need to become a completely different person tomorrow. You just need to stop negotiating with yourself. Every time you say, I'll do it later, you're negotiating. Every time you say, I'm too tired, you're negotiating. Every time you delay what matters, you're choosing comfort over growth. And those small negotiations, they're costing you everything. Because they add up, day after day, week after week, year after year, until one day, you realize you didn't lose your potential in one moment. You lost it in small decisions. Quiet ones. Invisible ones. The kind no one sees, but you feel. And now, you're standing at a point where you have to decide, do I keep negotiating, or do I take control? Because control doesn't come from motivation. It comes from standards. Standards you refuse to break. Not I'll try. Not I'll see how I feel. No. I do this. No matter what. That's a standard. And right now, you don't have enough of them. You have preferences. You have intentions. You have ideas. But not standards. And that's why your behavior changes based on your mood. If you feel good, you act. If you don't, you don't. That's not discipline. That's dependency. And dependency makes you weak, because it puts your life in the hands of something unstable, your emotions. So you need to flip it. You don't act because you feel like it. You act because you decided to. Big difference. One makes you consistent, the other keeps you stuck. Let me give you something simple, but powerful. From now on, the rule is this. The thing I avoid the most, I do first. Not later. Not after warming up. Not after checking your phone. First. Because avoidance is a signal. It shows you exactly where growth is. And every time you ignore it, you stay the same. So stop ignoring it. Face it. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel heavy. Yes, you won't feel like doing it. Do it anyway. That's how discipline is built. Not in big moments, but in small acts of resistance. Resisting the urge to scroll. Resisting the urge to delay. Resisting the urge to quit. Again, and again, and again. Until it becomes who you are. Because that's the goal. Not just doing discipline, but becoming disciplined. There's a difference. When it's who you are, you don't argue with yourself. You don't debate. You don't hesitate. You just act. And that's the identity shift you need. Right now, you see yourself as someone who struggles, someone who delays, someone who tries. But that identity, it's limiting you because you act in alignment with who you believe you are. So if you believe, I'm inconsistent, you'll act inconsistent. If you believe, I lack discipline, you'll prove it every day. So change it. Not with words, with actions. Start proving something different. Even in small ways. Do the task you've been avoiding. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Stack those actions. And slowly, your identity starts to shift. From, I can't stay consistent, to, I do what I say. From, I'm lazy, to, I handle hard things. That's how confidence is built. Not by thinking, but by doing. Because every action is a vote. A vote for the person you're becoming. Right now, your votes are scattered, inconsistent, unfocused. So your identity is unstable. But when you start acting with intention, when you start choosing discipline, even when it's hard, those votes stack. And over time, they become proof. Proof that you're different. Proof that you've changed. Proof that you're no longer that person. And that's when everything shifts. Not instantly, but permanently. Because now, you're not relying on motivation. You're operating from identity. And identity is powerful. It drives your actions, your habits, your decisions. So if you change that, you change everything. But it starts with one thing. Action. Not tomorrow, not later. Now, right after this. Because if you delay again, you already know what happens. Same cycle, same frustration, same regret. And I know, you're tired of that. Tired of feeling stuck. Tired of starting and stopping. Tired of knowing you could do more, but not doing it. So prove something. Not to the world, to yourself, that you're capable of change, that you're not controlled by comfort, that you can do hard things, even when you don't feel like it. Because that's the moment everything shifts. Not when it's easy, but when it's hard, and you still choose to act. That's power, and you have it. You just haven't been using it, until now. Now it comes down to this. Not motivation, not inspiration, not another video, a decision, a real one. Because everything you've heard so far, it means nothing. If you go back to the same habits after this, and let's be honest, that's what usually happens, right? You feel something, you get fired up, you say, this time is different. And then, you go back. Same patterns, same excuses, same life. Not because you can't change, but because you don't hold the decision, you let it fade. So this time, don't do that. Don't just feel it. Don't just think about it. Don't just agree with it. Act on it. Immediately. Because the longer you wait, the weaker the decision becomes. That's how your brain works. It protects comfort. It resists change. It looks for the easiest way out. So if you don't act now, you'll talk yourself out of it. You'll justify delay. You'll rationalize excuses. You'll convince yourself, I'll start later. And you already know where that leads. Nowhere. So here's what you do. Simple. Clear. No overthinking. Pick one thing, not 10. Not a full life reset. 1. The thing you've been avoiding the most. The thing you know matters. And do it. Right after this. No phone. No distractions. No delay. Just start. Not perfectly. Not flawlessly. Just start. Because starting breaks the cycle. And once you start, momentum builds. Not motivation. Momentum. And momentum is real. It carries you forward. It makes the next action easier, and the next, and the next, until suddenly you're not stuck anymore. You're moving. And that's all you ever needed. Movement. Not perfection. Not clarity. Not confidence. Movement. Because clarity comes from action. Confidence comes from action. Results come from action. Everything comes from action. And you've been avoiding it. Not anymore. Because now you see it. Clearly. Brutally. Honestly. No more hiding. No more pretending. No more waiting. You either change, or you stay the same. There is no middle. Every day you choose comfort. You choose the same life. Every day you choose discipline. You build a new one. That's the trade. And you make that trade every single day. So choose wisely, because time isn't slowing down for you. It's moving. Right now, while you're thinking, while you're hesitating, while you're deciding, it's moving. And once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get it back. So stop treating your life like you have unlimited time. You don't. You have today. This moment. This decision. That's it. And what you do with it defines everything. Your future isn't created in big moments. It's created in small decisions like this. Right now, so don't waste it. Don't close this and go back to scrolling. Don't say later and fall into the same trap. Not this time. Because if not now, then when? And if not you, then who? No one is coming. No one is pushing you. No one is forcing you. This is your responsibility. And that's not pressure. That's power. Because it means you're in control. You always were. You just kept giving that control away. To comfort. To distraction. To excuses. Take it back. Right now. Do the hard thing. Start the task. Take the step. Even if it's small. Even if it's messy. Even if it's uncomfortable. Especially then. Because that's where your new life begins. Not in motivation, but in action. And remember this. Discipline feels hard in the moment. But regret stays with you. So choose your hard. Stay comfortable now and suffer later. Or struggle now and build something real. That's the choice. And it's yours. So make it count. No more excuses. No more delays. No more waiting. You already know what to do. Now go and do it.